Good morning, everybody. Welcome. How we doing? It's Friday Eve, people. Let's dive into it. Welcome to the Premarket Prep session. If you're new, we're here each and every day, normally around 8:45 a.m., where we go over the important news, notes, analysis, trade ideas, mindset that's necessary, absolutely imperative, really, to maintaining consistent profitability as well as maintaining bigger wins than losses. You can lose, 7 out of 10 times, but if those 7 losses are small losses, 10%, right? And then the gains are 100%, 150%, 300%, you can still make your way out profitable. And making sure that you have a game plan each and every week for what the market has for you is super important, especially times like this week, right, where we've been in this descending parallel channel on SPY and we've been bull flagging on all of these different tickers, right? Talking about AMD, we've got our eyes on Microsoft, we've got our eyes on, Apple, we've got our eyes on SPY, all of these things that are consolidating and building. SPY, being at daily support here and also bull flagging on the 4 hour. You've got to know when to hold them, right? And then know when to take the market to the absolute bank. And knowing the difference between those two is what allows you to either blow up your account or continuing to build, right? And moving with conviction at the right time, which is everything in this trading game. But good morning, everybody. Welcome. Our top news here we're going to dive into in a second, but make sure that you drop your ones in the chat signifying your intention to get 1% better by the end of this session. That's what we're trying to do. That's all we're looking to do. And if you do that consistently, right, amazing things happen. So let's get into our top news. Leaping to conclusions. It's leap day today. That's even wilder, right? I completely forgot about that. We barely even get this day ever, right? That's making me feel mighty special on this fine Thursday morning. So it's leap day today, and for the markets, the focus will be on how much of a leap inflation took during the last monthly sprint. In fact, stocks haven't moved much this week ahead of the reading on the core personal consumption expenditures price index, which will be released at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The figure is the Federal Reserve's preferred inflation barometer and has the potential to reset interest rate expectations, hence its importance in determining market direction. Now, in terms of bumps in the road, that's the message central bankers have been trying to get across in the final fight against inflation, and to not take any one reading, so any one single reading, as a definitive symbol of where prices are going. Quote, the disinflationary process has been and may continue to be bumpy and uneven, Fed Governor Lisa Cook said last week. While Vice Chair Philip Jefferson echoed the sentiment with similar comments, quote, we are bound to have bumps along the road to disinflation, declared Philly Fed President Parker, saying that more data was needed to assess the right path forward for monetary policy. So we're hearing the same tune that's been sung a number of times over the course of the past months. Let's see here. What else we have going on? On that note, today's core PCE reading is expected to come in hot on a monthly basis, a 0.4% increase in forecast for January, or it is forecasting a 0.4% increase for January, which would be double the prior reading and mark the biggest rise in 9 months. On the other hand, the annual rate is expected to inch down to 2.8% from 2.9, though that is still above the Fed's 2% goal. While there are likely to be some knee-jerk reactions to the data, investors, as opposed to traders, will take a broader look at the incoming economic and market data to gauge any long-term impacts in their portfolios. Let's see here. So let's go ahead and dive into that data. It was weird. Vivian and I were talking about this yesterday. There was like data on, you guys know I love Walter Bloomberg for like all super fast stock news. There was data on there for PCE, but PCE did not drop until today. So I don't know if it was some rare hiccup that they have, but that's definitely a correction coming into today. We got PCE data this morning, not yesterday morning. So what I can only presume is the actual real PCE data, unless maybe he got it leaked and it was the same. We got jobless claims, 215,000 versus 201 previous. Estimated was 210K, so more jobless claims than what was estimated. Personal spending month over month, personal income. Okay, so here it is. U.S. January core PCE price index climbs 2.8%. Estimated was 2.8%. So everything was in line with expectations. Core PCE price index climbs 0.4% month over month. That's what was expected. And we're up, what is it? Yep, 2.8% year over year. So right in line with expectations. I don't have Thinkorswim up yet, but I did have some alerts off lead me to believe the market headed in the upward direction, which is right in line with what we've been expecting and what we've been predicting and what we've been waiting on. So patience is key in this market. PAYTIENCE. That's how you spell get your account to the moon, right? It's through patience. It's through saying, all right, we're going to keep a tight leash on this, tight leash on this, tight leash on this, right? Take a small loss, take a small loss, boom, nice gain. Take a small loss, take a small loss, boom, monster gain, right? That's what you're looking for. It's not to eliminate losses. You will never get to a point where you eliminate losses. You want to get comfortable with losses. You want to get comfortable with the time when the market is not moving and you have to endure chop. And then when it's go time, right, you are ready to execute. That is what you want. And I'm excited to do exactly that in the coming days. This is something that we've been on top of. AMD squeezing tight, having that, not only daily bull flag, but also a weekly bull flag. We have Microsoft bull flagging. We've got these different stocks, Microsoft and AMD, putting in back-to-back daily hammer bullish reversal candles. We've got SPY with the flag. So we could see a much more, fun and explosive end to the week than we saw beginning of the week. SPY definitely liked that PCE data that we got. We got big green rockets up from there. We were at 504.72 when that information came out. We're now trading at 508 on SPY, so big rocket up. We'll look to see if we can continue that, if that can be the catalyst to finally fire this flag, right, and get this breakout here on SPY, which would be, fun and amazing and awesome and dope to trade. So I'm excited for that. Anyways, let's keep it pushing here. Tech AI disclosures. Man, I got to get some more tea in my system, y'all. Whatever this little bug is, it's like got me super congested. The throat is hurting. That's fine. I'll take Tylenol. But in the morning, it's got my stomach going crazy. But anyways, TMI. Back to AI disclosures. Apple shareholders have rejected a labor union-backed proposal for an artificial intelligence transparency report that would also disclose related ethical guidelines. AI adoption raises a number of soft policy issues, according to AFL-CIO Equity Index Fund's proposal, such as mass layoffs, privacy violations, and spread of misinformation in political elections. Apple had recommended that shareholders reject the proposal, saying its policies already address these issues, and the report, quote, could encompass disclosure of strategic plans harmful to our competitive position. To note, AFL-CIO is also pushing other companies on AI transparency, including Disney and Netflix. So that's where we're at. At the end of the day, Apple doesn't feel like it needs to be transparent with labor unions, right? But this just goes to show and further underscore what I've been talking about over the course of the past few months. And when it comes to unions over the course of the past 2 years, right? This unionization effort has increased, but it has only exponentially gotten more and more serious because of AI. Frankly, these workers want to know, will I still have a job in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, right? And all these companies are saying, we're not telling you anything, right? They don't owe you anything and you don't owe them anything, which is most important. So for everybody who's like, I'm super busy at work and then I got to get home and I got to relax, I'm giving my all to my job. Is your job giving your all to you, right? That is the real question that you have to ask yourself. Is what you're doing really, really, really that integral or that complicated to the point where they could not replace you either with AI or with someone who could use AI to do multiple tasks at once, right? If you can't look in the mirror and say that, I'm irreplaceable, then that means you have to be, number one, putting your money to work for you, and number two, learning skills in your off time that allow you to move to that space of being irreplaceable. Do not wait until you're sitting here sending out job applications to be like, Adam, now I want to learn AI, right? Now I want to learn these tools. Now I want to learn to trade. Like that's not the circumstances under which you want to do it, because it's from a standpoint of stress, right? You want to be executing from a standpoint of you being clear-headed, able to let the intelligence, right, the divine intelligence inside of you manifest and like externally without being under stress, because it's when you're under stress that you make rash decisions, you make and impatient decisions, right? So do it while the going is good. Don't be lazy, right? Do not be lazy. This is not the time in history to be lazy at all. And I'm not saying it to scare you. I'm saying it to keep you daily motivated so that you spend 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, learning more about artificial intelligence, right? I'm barely on my personal Instagram anymore. I'm only on my Adam Holland Educates, and that is completely, me following accounts of things that I want to learn more about, right? Things that I want to be more knowledgeable in. So use social media for positivity, right? Even if you have to make another account and that account is just all you following stuff that you want to learn more about, do that, right? But it's important that we continue to do this learning because again, none of these companies are coming forward and saying like, "Oh yeah, we plan to get rid of you." No, but you can feel it, right? You can feel it in the water. You can feel it in the air. It's awkward. And at that point, I'm going to be already moving on to do what's necessary for me. In terms of cryptocurrency, to the moon. Bitcoin is on a roll, surging toward its all-time high and racking up its biggest monthly gain since December 2020. The latest bull run, which saw Bitcoin's market cap jump to a staggering 1.23 trillion over the past 24 hours, has been fueled by several factors, including the spot Bitcoin ETF boom that opened the door for mainstream investors and the upcoming April halving event. In another sign of growing institutional investor interest, Morgan Stanley is reportedly considering offering spot Bitcoin ETFs on its broker-dealer platform. While it may be far out, Seeking Alpha analyst Tony Chambers Asset Research has also predicted that Bitcoin will reach 175,000 before 2026. So here come the predictions. Bitcoin 100K is 100% possible within this year. Am I saying that it's probable? No, I'm not saying that, but it is possible based off the chart. If we can get this, break above 65K and hold, a catalyst for that could be the halving event. Bitcoin could then see 80K and then see 100K from there. And I'm not just going up by 20s. This is by, legitimate technical analysis. You're like, oh, you're just adding 20K on, and those are all the Bitcoin price targets. No, right? Don't try and piecemeal things together, taking little bits and pieces of information from what you see here from me or what you see on Reels. If you want to execute, invest in the system and learn how to do it consistently and in a way that makes sense, right? You piecemealing things together is only going to cost you more blood, sweat, tears, and money than you probably can afford to lose, right? So don't piecemeal it together. Be here in the community that told you back to buy Bitcoin weeks ago when we fired that weekly inverse head and shoulders, right? We're talking months ago back when we were down at what was that 25K, right? And then announcing to buy the dip on Mara earlier this month, right? When we were in that bomb support zone, and then Mara being up significantly since then, right? So yeah, we had this 2026, right around 27. Right around 27 is when we talked about that inverse head and shoulders on the weekly being fired on Bitcoin here months ago, right? And that being a great spot to buy Bitcoin as well as a great spot to enter into long calls for these crypto related tickers like Riot, Mara. And since then, Bitcoin went from 27K all the way to over 60K, right? We tapped like 65 yesterday. Crazy, absolutely crazy. But the only way that you're involved in these is if you're in a community that is paying attention to these types of things. Otherwise, you'll continually be chasing the bag. And instead of being like, oh man, I can't really afford to do this, you start to recognize over time the stuff that you think you can afford to do is the stuff that you actually can't afford not to do, right? You realize that more and more over time. Oh, I miss Disney. I miss Tesla. I miss Apple. I miss NVIDIA. I miss Bitcoin. I miss ETH. Are you going to continue missing stuff, right? Are you going to make sure that you're in the right place, in the right community to take advantage of the opportunities available? Right? That is what you need to do. That is where you need to be. And throw a 7 in the chat if that's you, because I'm not trying to continue missing out on all the amazing things that the world has for us. Right? There's a lot of scary stuff going on, a lot of war, a lot of this, a lot of that. There's also a lot of opportunity. That's what you want to be focused on, and that's what you want to execute on, because you don't want to sit here and say, oh, I care about Bitcoin now. It's at 60K. The time is past, right? That time is past. And also making sure that you're involved in both, right, is the goal. Because we made, when you look at the post from yesterday, the money that you make from being involved with stock options over the course of the same month is significantly more money than you make just being involved in Bitcoin, right? But there's also a trade versus an investment. Bitcoin, you're investing, you're holding for the long term. When you're trading, right, it's short-term stuff, but you can have your cake and eat it too. You can make huge short-term gains and also make very, very promising long-term returns, right? Bitcoin being up, over 20% this month. If you only buy Bitcoin, you're up 20%, right? But if you buy Mara stock options, you're up almost 1,500%, which is crazy, right? You're turning a grocery trip to, I don't even know, a rent payment, a mortgage payment, right, on a nice place. In terms of economic news here, Same old congressional leaders have struck a last minute deal to avert a partial government shutdown, reaching an agreement on 6 of the 12 funding bills that have been stalled for months. One set of federal agencies, including the Department of Commerce, Energy, and Justice, will be temporarily funded through March 8th. Ooh, no nasal passages. And the rest, including the Departments of Defense and Homeland Security, through March 22nd. Lawmakers plan to vote on the continuing resolution this week, giving them time to iron out the details of the $1.6 trillion federal spending package. Elsewhere, Mitch McConnell said he would step down as Senate Republican leader in November after 17 years in the job, setting up another leadership contest during the presidential election season. Yeah, I'd say he probably should, considering the fact that my guy was literally like control alt deleting himself at the podium. Like he was just completely checking out. And that's not to make fun of him. It's to make fun of the fact that we have like SpongeBob's grandma working in Congress and just making laws for us, which just makes no sense. I don't know if that might be a dated reference or, maybe some of you that's over the head, but his grandma literally looked like a microwaved Tootsie Roll, right? Like just an old, decrepit, like piece of chocolate is what she looked like. And I feel like that's what half of the people that are here in these positions look like, right? We should not have people that like physically are unable to get up and make a speech and all that stuff, like determining our future. So that's just insane. So yeah, Mitch, I think it was the right move. Thanks for not staying 5 more years, right? Knowing that that's not the place for you to be at, right? Go live your life, enjoy that money, from insider trading and whatnot. In terms of today's markets, all this is different because we got data. So not even worth going through. Today's economic calendar, we got the jobless claims. Those came in worse than expected, but market honestly not caring as much about that anymore. And then we got the PCE data, which was the most important out of the data we were getting this morning. And it's so weird because, again, they don't list that here on the economic calendar today. There is like some weird scheduling thing going on throughout the finance world here because we have just all these mix-ups on PCE data. That's not even listed here under today's economic calendar, but it was yesterday. Weird. Anyways, in terms of what else is happening, we'll wrap up. Oh, 9:45 a.m. Chicago PMI. That might be one of those things, right? 15 minutes after open, where we're like, oh, this could have an effect, right? Keep that just in the back of the head. We've got that at 9:45, and then home sales at 10. So it's like could get some, quick blips on smaller time frames. What else is happening? Rapid fire stock news rundown. That's how we're going to close this out. Wendy's, ticker WEN, reverses on surge pricing after frosty customer reaction. Yeah, we were joking. Yeah, I see. Not SpongeBob's grandma. Look, Sharon, you're right. There are a few more that need to go. Let me see. Yeah, I see Rob's on here. We were joking yesterday about Wendy's with the surge pricing and like trading Wendy's and the surge pricing. It's just wild, that idea that you can go to Wendy's and all their meals probably are already $10 because that's just where we're at now with fast food, like $10 to $12. Imagine going through Wendy's and you getting some food and then being like, oh yeah, that'll be like $23.85 for like a single meal. Absolutely crazy, bro. Absolutely crazy. Snowflake. So this one surprised me, but not as much when I heard the news. So Snowflake, ticker Snow, plunges as sales outlook and then CEO change rattles investors. So Snow, I didn't play on earnings, but I talked about it a few days ago. I think it was just, I feel bad for those that did because it was very expensive to play and IV was crazy and it tanked. And no one was thinking that it would tank because they've been integrating, AI a lot more into their services and also just their data centers and all that being used for AI and large language model training. But yeah, it just didn't work out. And I feel like the running joke was, oh, they must not have said AI enough times over the course of their earnings call. But yeah, a CEO change will definitely rattle investors. And I think that they were most definitely rattled because Snow absolutely tanked overnight. But I will be interested to see kind of, where it finds support. And maybe even look to fill that gap. We'll see. It's just there are so many tantalizing trade opportunities right now that like I wouldn't even be sitting here focusing on the fact that the Snow bit the dust and gapped down because there's just so many good blue chip stock trade opportunities that are poised to absolutely pay hand over fist that I don't know if I'll watch it too intensely, but watching and looking left on the chart to make sure, right, and seeing, okay, are we at a level where we can find good support and I can go long? That's key. And if you don't know how to do that, email me Adam at adamhollandeducates.com. Let's get to work. Let's get you educated. Let's get you making money in markets. Let's see here. Salesforce, ticker CRM, stumbles as tepid guidance overshadows strong results. So once again, we see guidance overshadowing the actual numbers. That's super, super key. You can look and say, wow, Salesforce probably crushed it on the top and bottom line. They can do that and still go down because of guidance. United Health, ticker UNH, cyber attack. Hackers claim theft of millions of records. This just ain't gonna end. I mean, it's the hacking is nonstop. United Health is huge. United Health is huge. Wow, millions of records. I mean, it is what it is. To be honest, at this point, I already assume that my stuff is out there. So I just, you just got to stay prayed up, hope that your identity isn't stolen, and keep it pushing because I have two-factor authentication for everything. I feel like I can't even open up my iPhone without opening up YouTube on my iPad to make sure that I'm the person that I say that I am. And these hackers are still getting in. So that's just where we're at with things. They about to make me go back all paper in terms of records. AB InBev reaches deal with Union. Molson Coors, ticker TAP, strike continues. So we talked about Bud, right? Bud Light and all them struggling. AB InBev, but they reached a deal. Coors still has not. Cost cuts, Electronic Arts, ticker EA, announces workforce reduction plan. Constellation Energy, ticker CEG, scores rating upgrade, shares continue rising, and then FAA issues order to fix Boeing's shortcomings in safety culture. WW International, ticker WW, says Oprah Winfrey will not stand for re-election. I guess she was like the president of, Weight Watchers, which is now WW, and I guess she's not running again. All right. $8.5 billion giant Disney Reliance to merge Indian TV and streaming assets. So Disney going through some merging, some consolidation. I ain't mad at it, right? Disney continue making those moves to continue to pay us like big dogs, right? And we can continue to have a great 2024. So that's where we're at, people. I'm excited for what the rest of the end of the week has for us. I'm excited for this day, February 29th, which we don't get often. Right? Get pumped up for that. That's a rare opportunity where you can say, I absolutely robbed the stock market blind on February 29th. And I might do it, on March 1st as well. Cool leap day action, right? Hopefully we get something fun. We get something spicy. If not, we remain patient. But everybody have a great rest of the day. I'll be tomorrow morning, 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, delivering valuable knowledge, insight, and analysis to continue to maintain profitability. Have a great rest of the day, peeps. I'll talk to you later. Peace.